Yeah, she gets you.
I heard that. I heard.
Hey everyone. Yes, that was indeed me touching a 7,000 volt electric fence just for the lulls. It wasn't that bad. It was, call it not nearly as bad as a taser, which you have seen me take a ride on a previous channel, but it is significantly more bite than like a cattle fence or a violet wand. Where was I doing this? I was in Vegas and I was at ISC West. For those of you who don't know, the big security controls trade show. This is the one for physical security, especially in the US. There's ISC East and ISC West. So tons of everything from access control systems to alarms, sensors, cameras, physical barriers, gates, locks. Yeah, it's been quite a lot in the conference and trade show side of my life recently. I was there. I was at the Safe Tech conference for SAVTA. I'm a SAVTA technician, as you know, and I saw a lot of good stuff at ISC this year. There were some real significant things that were fun, and I'm going to summarize some of them here, and then we'll get some specialty videos going on later on the channel. You've seen plenty of RFID content on the low frequency, sort of 125, 134 kilohertz range, and you've seen plenty of 1356 megahertz high frequency from us in our trainings and so forth, right? Everything we do with the Proxmark. You don't see us talking about ultra high frequency up around the 900 megahertz range too frequently. You're going to see that more. And we saw tons of that at the show. You know, AWID, like literally Applied Wireless ID, a company you don't see used for access control much anymore. They're still in the game in a big way, especially in the automotive space. That's where you see a lot more of the ultra high frequency, long distance reads and writes. So maybe we're going to start getting some of their gear into one of our classrooms, the extended, RFID class, that access control thing. We have a 5-day that RTA runs. But before you see it in the classroom, you're going to see some UHF content on another channel. I know that Brian and the whole crew down in Austin have wanted us to come back and be on Modern Rogue for a while. There's going to be some fun stuff with UHF that you're going to check out. Bobak and I playing with down with them. Wouldn't be ISC if DoorKing wasn't in town. And yeah, they were there. They had their giant booth. They still had their conventional keys that apparently people are saying that they might even be rotating through a series of keys now. The idea of just the 16120 or just the 16001 or 16002, like those aren't the only key options now, which is great to hear because again, like all these big ass products, this is a vehicle wedge, right? This is a VCP crash barrier wedge, and they had it on display, zooming up and down. It's just a little cabinet with a WaferLock that you could pop open if you have the right key, and inside of the cabinet, right there, you've got up and down, just regular rocker switches. I'm not throwing shade at DoorKing. I mean, it's a hard industry to work in. And obviously, if you're running a vehicle checkpoint where someone might try to ram a truck bomb through there, you probably have some dudes stationed nearby with M4s. So if somebody can just open the panel and sit and start poking buttons, you should have a word with them if they try to do that with a key they bought off of eBay. Not a lot of elevator tech in town this year. I was looking out for it. There were one or two booths talking about it, but mostly in the monitoring space, right? And how do you use cameras? Could you call an elevator with your phone? I'm sure that's not going to be something that somebody abuses over the internet, like tapping into the McDonald's drive-through speaker just for the lulls. But I didn't see anything too fascinating to report on elevators. I guarantee they're all still going to have mechanical control buttons, even if it's behind a hidden panel on a destination dispatch system, because you have to have that for the first responders. I found this booth with the most secure hardware of the show, right? WaferLock, what could be more secure? And ironically, I don't think they were selling a single WaferLock product. MagnaSphere, definitely going to be in town. They always have a nice booth there. My buddy Mike caught me as I was walking by, and I was like, oh, what are you guys doing here? We got more door contact sensors, level 1, level 2, going above and beyond. He's like, no, actually, we're doing new stuff. We still make that gear, but they had a panic button for duress type situations. They had a giant model of it. That's what caught my eye. But beyond that, they also are doing some things with fence sensors now. Really cool tech. That's going to be its own video. Look for that on my channel in a bit. I was playing around with that with our fence climbers and more. Speaking of running into people who knew me from the internet and people I know from the internet, it was really nice to see Linus, my friend Linus Boman. If you don't know Linus and his channel about fonts, oh my God, you're missing out. I'm going to link a couple of my very favorite videos that he's put out in the past. Yes, absolute gem of a human. If you don't follow Times New Bowman online, please do. And it was lovely to see him. He was all the way over from overseas. We had a nice meal together. Yeah, just top notch cat. Very good internet person. Nightlock, one you've seen probably in the academic space. They make a very nice classroom lockdown unit, one that I encourage, one that I do support, plays in the life safety space pretty darn well. They also, however, make a residential solution that I like very much. Some of you, I might have done a video about this. You might have seen me talk about the Door Club. It's an old product, really old. My parents used to use it on their house, I've mentioned in the past. This is sort of the spiritual successor to that, and I think it's very well made. Like seeing that out there. I like simple solutions that do a bang up job. Nightlock's definitely in that park. Saw the crew from Lockmasters. Naturally, they're gonna be out there. They had a nice big booth and, Bo and some of the other guys that know me, they say, "Hey, what's going on, homie?" And again, we're seeing people who are super well known in certain sectors, but they're prominently displaying their new stuff. They're branching out in other ways. Now, Lockmasters, no stranger to skiffs, right? Like I did all my skiff training through Lockmasters. They've been in that game for ages. Do you know that Core Group does skiff consultation? We have definitely worked on a number of, well, I won't call them projects you've heard of, but your personal data is absolutely inside of skiffs that I have consulted on the construction of. And I was asking them, I said, "Well, tell me about this door, man." So yeah, they're getting doors that are rated for skiffs. Very hard thing to source. All of the different shielding and acoustics and all that. Their new acoustic door, very nice. But I was really, really mostly impressed with their glass. They have RF shielding for glass. And again, like the old adage, used to, well, skiffs can't have windows. That was like the old wisdom. That's all old thinking. You can have windows in a skiff now and still be RF rated. So it was really cool to see that and talk to them. And then just recently, I mean, I was at the SAVTA Safe Tech conference in Kentucky, so gonna hang with those cats. They had a lovely event, a big reception, and just really, really fun. Always seeing the Miller collection and loads of really good photos that I took up close and personal. I'll probably drop them on my Instagram because the things that Harry Miller and his family have put together over the years, their facility is gorgeous. It was nice to see Clay, and yeah, man, Lockmaster is always a good crew. Security door controls, they had a nice booth. Again, they're gonna be a huge supplier of all kind of different hardware. I saw a lot of very nice IR-based no-touch door controls. There was a talk, I'd like recommending this talk. It was called No Touch. I don't remember how many O's were in the name of that talk, so finding it is hard. If I can find the link to it, I'll drop it below. It has to do with messing with IR sensors and IR beams to make doors open. But I was actually really impressed with SDC was showing off a electronically clutched door handle set, which traditionally is a very beautiful installation. Those are very nice looking installs, but they're expensive both to buy and to use because normally this involves core drilling. You have to drill a whole raceway from the hinge side, use a transfer hinge, pull wire down into the frame. This is inductively coupled on the latch side of the door. And it's again, you're pulling fewer wires. They even said it's NFPA 80 fire door rated as an install. I'm not sure how you'd make that mortise cut exactly, but that's something I want to follow up with them on. Maybe you'll see me talk about that later. And then a really fun time. So SIA, the Security Industry Association, who runs the whole trade show, they put on sort of an industry debate of opinions night themed as a pro boxing fight kind of night. And Bobak did us really proud up there on stage talking about whether his topic was whether mobile credentials are appropriate and ready for enterprise yet. So I think it was wonderful. He did a really good job representing Core Group, and it's always nice to see just everyone at SIA knows us and knows him very well. Always comes up, says hi, and again the aesthetics theming of the boxing match. They had a whole bunch of extra accessories there for people to take photos and share. It was a really cute time. It was a very good debate. Overall, good show. Absolutely nice time. And again, I'm going to have some follow-up videos on some dedicated topics that deserve their own little slice of my time. There was a camera company called Anava, and I mean, everybody's throwing the word AI into everything now, and it's kind of very buzzwordy. And I would have possibly dismissed what they were doing. Oh, it's more AI bullshit. But one of the cats behind the booth, he was like, "Wait, how do I know you? Are you one of our customers? Holy crap, I know who you are." And he pulled me in. And I was going to be like, "Oh, well, it's nice to meet you. All right, but I got to see some interesting stuff instead of you." But when he started talking, you'll see another video coming out, and it has to do with guns and swords, among other things, and people doing kind of AI, but in a mindful way, not just in a, "Hey, let's get the clicks and the buzzwords and the dollars." You know, I'm big into my fire safety, so E2E Thermal was doing some things with fire suppression and fire alert sensors that I don't think I've seen anyone do using optics as well as thermal type sensors. Look for a video just about them. But also, you might see me pop up on other channels. I mentioned Modern Rogue, right? My buddy Carl, right? In Range TV. I shot some footage at a couple of booths that are more appropriate to his channel because they involve the pew pews. There's a company, Safe Haven Defense, right? So Safe Haven is making ballistic glazing coatings for conventional glass that will, operate in that BR space, so bullet resistant space, one way. One-way bullet-resistant glass. So assailants outside trying to blast in, not penetrating, but if you, heaven forbid, need to return fire, you could shoot out. It's literally like a science fiction force field practically. I have a whole video where they took us to American Shooters, the range where Hollow Sun rented out during SHOT, right? They did a whole live demo, live fire. I caught a lot of it on film, did a little interview with the team. Look for that on Carl's channel, along with a nice Italian fellow who I heard talking. I said, "Oh, where in Italy are you from? My family's from Corbara. And what is your booth?" Dude was selling sentry guns. So legit, like panning, looking, searching, engage target. You have 30 seconds to get off this. And now, non-lethal, right? These are 68 caliber, sort of paintball or capsaicin rounds. But the way he was pitching, like they looked really cool. And the talk we had was actually kind of fun. So again, like look for all of that on Carl's channel. That was really wild. And I just had a really great time there. I had a great time at ISC. I had a great time. I mentioned SAVTA, the Safe Tech event. I've been ping-ponging all over the place. I'm obviously still in North Carolina right now. I'll be here for another couple days. This weekend, though, I'm going to be back in Seattle. Tara and I are speaking at B-Side, so we'll be there on Friday. And then, of course, I come back here. You'll see Kimmy and Emily and everyone. All of us will be at Kakalaki Con, where I'm presenting. If you didn't catch me at ShmooCon, this is an expanded and improved and updated version of my safes and locks during the Cold War talk, replicating some attacks that I don't believe have ever been seen replicated, that have only been known in the history books or occasionally only known to the intelligence community. So look for that. Look for me at Layer 1. I'll probably down in LA after that. And then I think Tara and I go to Estonia. We'll be out there and then in Denver again and just on and on and on. And that takes us to June. So spring season remaining is as heavy as ever on travel, but it's great to see you all whenever you catch me in an airport or a trade show or just, out on the street. Or I was just at a club with a bunch of people just last night. And one of my gunmaker people was like, did a double take. He wasn't expecting to see me in the scene where we were. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Nice to see you, man. What's going on? How you been?" So definitely come and say hi anytime. I love seeing how you're doing. I love knowing what you're up to. And I especially love that you're doing your best to keep you and your loved ones safe out there.